What? Bang!
Pro Wrestling Podcast. Just when they think they got the answers, I change the question.
Rep, screw, rep.
Yeah.
Woo!
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am Macho King Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. I said WWE stands for...
It's me, Austin.
I will never retire.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. No matter what streaming service you're using, make sure you click whatever notification so they let you know every time we go live. Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, you name it, we're on it. We're even on Twitch. Get on all those social media channels. Follow the show. Let us know every time. We'll let you know every time we have a new show go up. Are you sick and tired of dropping $60 to $100 for the latest and greatest wrestling video game? Stop immediately. Go to Wrestler Unstoppable, available exclusively through Facebook. Create a wrestler, sign contracts, get into storylines, headline PLEs, even build your own corporation, all included in Wrestler Unstoppable, available now to all Facebook users, totally free. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shout-outs like my good buddy John in Texas. John, love giving you that shout-out. Head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today. $15 a month contributors, you get to co-host a show with myself. $7.50 a month will put you into a drawing to do the same. Just like John, we're recording a 4-part episode. It is going to be Patreon exclusive content. We're still in the works. We'll chat that out there to all of our subscribers shortly, but you don't want to miss out on episodes. Pop over and join the Patreon family. Hello everybody, welcome to this episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you've got questions, comments, something you want us to touch on in this or a future episode, shoot us a line. Pro Wrestling Sound Off line 267-642-1160, and we will get to those questions either during this show or in a future episode. So, got a lot to get to. I hope everybody had the opportunity to go back and watch Clash in Paris over the weekend. I actually thought, for a 5-match show, not terrible. I think the Wyatt 6-match, the Tag Team Championship match, that probably could have waited for an episode of SmackDown. Really didn't need to be there. I thought coming off of 3 matches previously between Rusev and Sheamus, I thought it was going to be like a slow burn. It really wasn't. Again, they're always hard-hitting and volatile, but some of the spots on here were just amazing. The accolade on top of the barrels, all that kind of stuff. I saw memes online talking about how that would be the new Cracker Barrel logo. Not trying to get political here, but would make a better logo than the crap they were trying to put out there. And even the stuff with like Roman Reigns, Bronson Reed, solid match, really got Bronson over, but also laid the groundwork for Roman Reigns to get injured, taken out. The word is he's going away. He's going to film his portion of the Street Fighter movie where Cody has been filming currently. Oddly, there's talents from New Japan Pro Wrestling and everything are going to be in that film. So he'll go off to do that for the next month. He'll be gone for the whole month of September, selling the injury from being laid out by Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. Or I said Braun Strowman, my goodness. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And then when he comes back, I'm sure we'll head right into October, November, where we get right back on track. And obviously he'll have some revenge to go set up with Bronson Reed and, of course, with Braun Breaker, who I think that match, for as much as we've talked previously about wanting to see Seth and Roman at Mania, Roman and Braun might be a bigger match right now just because Braun's getting over so well. Thought it was all solid. Then you get to the 2 big matches of the night. The John Cena, Logan Paul. Look, I've listened to some of the reaction online. I've listened to Wrestle Talk. I've listened to What Culture. I've listened to people on Busted Open. Kudos to Busted Open. They really gave a lot of credit to how well John performed. Denise Salcedo had a great analysis of the match, and I really believe that this was one of the best matches I've seen of John Cena, maybe in his entire career, bringing in things that he doesn't typically do. all to pay homage to the different talents that he's not going to have the opportunity on this farewell tour to be able to work with, like AJ Styles hitting that Styles Clash, hitting the Hurricane Rana. Some people saying that was a throw out to Rey Mysterio. Whatever, don't care. It was still vintage Cena in a lot of spots, and really shocking Cena in many others. I thought it was a perfect match. And for Logan Paul, you can hate the guy's character all you want. I've said it before, all that heinous crap he did in terms of the really heinous stuff, and I'm not going to go into details, not my place, go Wikipedia it if you want to find out, but that stuff is back when the dude's like 19 years old, not justifying anything, I'm just saying, 19 to like late 20s is a long time where you can learn a lot about yourself. He puts on a character in WWE. He's supposed to be hated in WWE. I don't know what his character is outside of the ring. I know he's now a married man. I know he has himself his hands in a lot of different business ventures. I hope he's matured quite a bit, but I'm speaking just as a wrestling fan. That guy can go. That guy is as natural a talent as I've ever seen in a professional wrestling ring, and I want him to do more and more and more. I get it. He's only had like 20-some matches the whole time he's been wrestling. Well, you know what? He is wrestling as good as some of the longest tenured veterans in the business. Give that guy his roses, doing a great job. The match was phenomenal. Of course, Cena came out the victor. It needed to happen, though. I'll be honest, I had my apprehensions because I thought maybe Brock Lesnar shows up and cost him the match. Did not happen. We'll save that for WrestlePalooza. Of course, the Becky Lynch match was probably, in a lot of ways, probably the letdown of the night because of some botch moves by Nikki Bella and things like that. The simple backslide roll-up. To be honest with you, I was sitting there thinking to myself, the last time I remember any major championship match ending with a backslide, and Shawn Michaels referenced this in one of the World Class Championship Wrestling DVD set years ago that you can now find on the network, on Peacock, where he talked about how Kerry Von Erich, when he won the NWA World Championship from Ric Flair, he won it with a backslide. That's kind of what I got, the feel I got from Becky Lynch winning with a backslide here. But still, it furthered the storyline, got Becky out of that feud. Obviously, she took care of business with Nikki Bella. She could move on to bigger and better things, leading into our main event, the Fatal 4-Way for the World Heavyweight Championship. At no point did I think Jey Uso was winning because he got injured earlier in the night because he foolishly came out to help Roman Reigns, which he was told not to do. I never thought LA Knight had a legitimate chance, even though I would love to see him in the World Championship opportunity. I think he could run with it. I think he could do very well with it. I think they messed him up when they sent him to Saudi to face Roman Reigns way too early just because the Saudi Crown Prince wanted to do that. They have foregone years of a top star because they had to rush something because of a Saudi Crown Prince, and all in the name of money. I never thought Punk was going to win because he just won recently, and you need to have a longer build before he gets that thing back, if he even gets it back. So it left Seth as the only option. So as the match progressed, I actually started getting concerned that I was wrong, that Punk was going to win this thing until a masked person came out. It turned out to be Becky Lynch, which turns out to be the best thing that could have possibly happened. First off, very frustrated with Big E and Jackie Redmond bringing up AJ Lee on commentary. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's like Bobby Heenan saying, whose side is he on? When Hogan comes out at Bash at the Beach and turns and becomes a member of the NWO. Bad idea. Let people savor the whole moment. Let people soak it in. Let the people who don't even know who AJ Lee is just sit there and bask in the moment and take it, and then let them be shocked when, if there is a AJ Lee involvement later on. We go to Raw, which of course, I'm not doing a full recap of Paris because it was a few days ago, but Raw was just yesterday. When we look at Raw, some interesting things going on. You start the show with the Jey Uso coming out, throwing down some heat. I would love for them to move past all this. The Bronze versus Jey Uso and LA Knight just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Though at the end of the show, when that match does take place, I think it's obvious they're going towards the Bronze versus the Usos, which I'm fine with that. I just don't like how it was set up, and I don't like that we essentially sacrificed another week of doing nothing with LA Knight, and the guy is supremely talented. But you could see where they're going. So him coming out and having that whole talking piece at the beginning, time filler, I suppose. It's like the stereotypical Monday Night Raw episode, like a half an hour of nonsense at the beginning. The tag team match, Kabuki Warriors against Judgment Day, solid match. I don't like that Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez are essentially being jobbed out at this point. They were tag team champions for all that time. Now they can't beat anybody. And quite frankly, Raquel Rodriguez deserves a more prime spot in the women's division. She's done everything you could possibly ask her to do. She performs very well. Had to be out for a short period of time because of a physical ailment she was dealing with, but otherwise has delivered every time she's in the ring. Why is she not pushed harder? She can handle the workload. Give it to her. In the meantime, Asuka and Kairi Sane pick up the win. They clearly are looking towards a heel turn, at least for Asuka. Kairi Sane looks like the one who's conflicted over all this, which I kind of like that layer to the story. We didn't get a lot of build-up about Bayley this week, which I thought they kind of dropped the ball there. We did get the announcement that it's going to be Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky for the Women's Championship at WrestlePalooza, which of course led to that backstage discussion between Io and the Kabuki Warriors. Again, still teasing that tension. Nikki Bella getting involved and them telling her to leave, and Rhea not being claiming that Rhea is not friends with Io and all that kind of stuff. It's too much. It's too schoolyard. It's too too clicky for me. It just comes off as juvenile. So I wish they would either move forward with the turn and get it physical, but stop all the conversation. You're not her friend. You're not this. You're not. Just shut up. You get it done. The Finn Balor match with Dragon Lee with JD McDonough outside. Solid match, but super fast. Nobody really got a huge advantage, which I think is a detriment to Finn Balor, because he's another supremely talented wrestler who could be at the top of the card. They just never push him that way. Of course, he wins. I have no problem with that. But then getting himself and JD kicked out of the arena was very interesting, because it set something up for later on in the show. When they announced that the New Day was in a 6-man match with Grayson Waller going against Penta and partners, you really had that moment where you were like, here it comes. The reunion of the Lucha Bros, Rey Fenix, Andrade, they're going to come out right now. They're going to team with him, take out the New Day and Grayson Waller, and it didn't happen. The opportunity was staring you in the face. Didn't happen. Now, that's fine. If you wanted to do it this way, you have the War Raiders take the pin. And you have the New Day pick up the win. That way you could bring in Phoenix and Andrade later. The way they did it here, they basically squashed the New Day and Grayson Waller. I don't even understand what they're doing with their characters. Terrible booking, in my opinion, because it's totally disrespectful of the incredible heel turn that the New Day had last year. We get to the Dominic Mysterio's AJ Styles match. This, again, it felt a lot like a squash match. Styles got very little in, and when he finally did build some momentum, we had El Grande Americano appear, which is clearly the Ludwig Kaiser version, which word is now on the internet that he's doing such a good job with it, there's a chance Chad Gable doesn't get the gimmick back when he comes back from injury, because we're seeing such a great performance now. Have to wait and see how that happens. Mysterio picks up the win and retains the championship. He'll probably move past AJ at this point, which is kind of a shame, because AJ, this is the last full year probably of his wrestling career full time, so it would have been nice to see more and give him that opportunity. CM Punk calling out Seth Rollins in the show to be interrupted with Seth's music. Everybody was waiting for Seth to walk out. They're singing along. Becky Lynch comes out instead, talking up her husband, talking about what Punk cost her when he walked out of the company, which is absolutely ludicrous. If you go back in time, she was barely wrestling when he left the company, and she certainly wasn't an established megastar like she is now. So he didn't really cost her anything, but whatever. That's her perspective, at least for this storyline. But it is very obvious. We get Seth to come out eventually. He doesn't come to the ring, and the way Becky talks down to Punk and slaps him around, and he makes it clear that he's going to get his hands on Seth, and he's going to regret it as well. It's obvious, especially on the heels of the Big E and Jackie Redmond comment, that they are talking about AJ Lee returning. I already talked about Jey Uso, LA Knight, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and how that's purposely was there just to reunite the Usos to go against the Browns. I'm not going to cover that again. I want to stick on the CM Punk Becky Lynch thing. I thought Becky Lynch's promo was one of the best of the entire year. I thought it was fantastic, and that's kind of the general consensus I'm hearing across the internet, all the different shows that I listen to, and hopefully you listen to as well. Everybody seems to think that this was one of her best promos, or WWE's best promos of the year. Great stuff, solid stuff. The thing is, the word backstage is they are absolutely working towards an AJ Lee return. There are reports coming out from both Fightful Select, reporting that it is on for WrestlePalooza, that they've been having creative conversations. Brian Alvarez of F4W Online also reported Tuesday that WWE is planning the match. Fightful reported over the weekend there's been pitches internally for AJ Lee to return for quite a while. It was implied on Raw. Punk saying stuff to General Manager Adam Pearce about where is SmackDown on Friday, which of course it's in his hometown of Chicago, where they make a residence. So it obviously makes a lot of sense. There are other reports saying that this is not necessarily a one-off, which is huge. I think this match needs to be phenomenal. Hopefully she can go the way she always was able to in the ring. Let's face it, we're not talking about some 60-year-old male wrestler coming back for one last hurrah. She's young. She's still very young. So she could still go as long as she wants to go. If she wants to come back and have more than one match, that's great. If it's a one-off, fine. I heard them debating on Busted Open today with Bully Ray and Nick Nemeth talking about whether it should be Rhea. Whether they should have AJ come out for this match and have her get beaten down at the end and have Rhea make the save and then pair off Punk and Rhea in the future. I get it because Rhea is a more contemporary star and a lot of more people know who Rhea is versus AJ Lee, but it's not going to take long for the diehards to do a simple YouTube search and find anything they need to find about AJ Lee, or go on the network or go on Peacock and watch AJ Lee's contributions to the business. Go back and watch Fighting With My Family and see how she helped bring Paige into the business. I would love to see it. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be opposed to Paige ended up coming out and being involved in a few later on at some point. That would be great as well. But obviously, they're setting this up. They're going to make this match happen. Everybody's going to lose their mind. I think it's kind of a waste to do that on a SmackDown episode, but whatever, to each his own. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying. I think they would behoove themselves if they built it up a little differently heading into WrestlePalooza, because they really want to get that over because it's the launch of the ESPN relationship. Let's change gears a little bit. Let's talk the widow of late WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan. Sky is now considering a medical malpractice lawsuit. They are in the process of gathering reports and information. They are being investigating for possible malpractice. This is huge. There's been a lot of conjecture about what actually happened. We don't really know. So that's something to monitor, keep an eye on. Jim Ross has been in the news lately. His AEW contract coming up for renewal, and it turns out he never considered, his own words, never considered going anywhere else. He has re-signed with AEW. He's going to be staying with them for the foreseeable future, part-time basis, probably major shows, but he's still able to contribute, and he really loves what he's doing for them, so that's great stuff. In other free agent news, Vincent and Dutch of the Righteous are potentially being scouted by WWE. They have notified all the indie bookers that their time in the indies is up. They're going to work out the rest of the remaining dates, and then they're moving on. Could be to go join WWE. There was rumblings in 2022 that they wanted them for the Wyatt 6. It didn't happen. Now maybe they come in now. I suspect they would be a team you'd put into NXT before you put them to a main roster situation, but we'll have to wait and see. I guess maybe it depends on if they want to expand the Wyatt 6 or if they want to keep it the way it is. We'll have to see how that pans out. But again, a really great tag team, something that is a good get for any company pulling them in. And I got to talk about this because I thought it was really interesting. Over the weekend, there was so much conversation about how unsuccessful it was going to be, and it turned out to be very successful, drawing over 3,000 fans in Cleveland, Ohio on Saturday. Real American Freestyle Wrestling Episode 1 did take place. The results are available online, all kinds, just a fantastic card with some surprises. We got to see Holly Holm come out and replace Kennedy Blades in her match against Alejandro Rivera, which was a shocker for everybody. Some of the other stuff we got to see, at one point we were, when you're trying to look to pop the crowd, you want to have some big debut, some big moment. And what we got was Chael Sonnen accepting a challenge from Tito Ortiz, which is made a little stranger now because, also in the news, the fact that Chael Sonnen was choked out twice in a jiu-jitsu competition they had. But at the same time, it sounds like we may get Chael Sonnen in the ring taking on Tito Ortiz, which would be incredible for Real American Freestyle to have that style of fight at their next event. I think that would be a great headliner. Wyatt Hendrickson was there, so they had a lot of great talent, good stuff. Thrilled to see such a successful first event. They deserve all the flowers they get because there was a lot of questions coming into this whether it was going to be successful at all. The attendance was solid. The response, the feedback from fans watching this was solid. The surprises were good. So congratulations to Eric Bischoff. He did an interview on 83 Weeks where he said he felt like Hogan was there with him. Very spiritual moment. Beautiful thing, and I hope they keep doing what they're doing. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode. We'll run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks, as always, goes out to Suno AI for generating the music and sound effects on our show. Today's show sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bring a new friend to family game night. It's easy with sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side in this game from Beazle Games by going to thegamecrafter.com and pick up your copy today. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college or university life, maybe you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to our website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking a few moments with us tonight. Until next time, take care, everybody. Have a great night.